In the Behind the Image series, we speak with Roger about a photo from the book BYWAYS. Today we're doing another Behind the Image, and we're going to do the picture of the deck chairs, which is a really great picture. It's just a row of empty deck chairs in what seems to be an abandoned car park. So there's a lot of contradictory elements in it. The deck chairs are lined up not on the beach, but in a car park. And one normally associates deck chairs with sunny beach days. And it's obvious from the wet tarmac and the gloomy skies, there's just been a thunderstorm.
Well, it was raining. The wind was coming up from the east, and it started to rain about half an hour before. And I was painting seafront, and I was wandering along painting seafront, looking for something, and it started raining, and I think I walked on the pier for a while, and I was just heading back. Usually there's cars parked there. It's just the seafront. There's a road right, inside the kind of sea wall on the seafront there. It's not often the deck chairs are there. That was odd. Usually there's cars parked there.
Why would you put deck chairs in a car park? Why wouldn't you put it on the beach?
Because the tide was up and the wind was blowing, so I guess they put the deck chairs out on the...
Summertime in England?
It's summertime in England, yeah. I just walked by and that's sort of interesting. I didn't think twice about the photograph, and I grew to like it after I'd taken it.
Oh, really? So did you didn't take a whole lot of different pictures of that?
I just took the one.
Oh, really?
I was walking home and it was raining and windy, and I'd had enough of the day, I think. And I just thought, I might as well take that. It's kind of nice. And when I got home, I kind of liked it more.
So did you think at all about the contradictory elements in it?
Well, I think your mind's drawn to those things, isn't it? It is. Why else would you take it? It was the wind, and this is where I grew up. There's a picture of Torbay, where I grew up. The rocks out in the distance is where I've been fishing for 50 odd years, So it's home,
Well, film sets oftentimes do a wet down before they shoot at night. And I guess it's about the reflections and all of that. Is that something that attracts a photographer, that reflection bit?
I suppose it can do. It doesn't me particularly, the photographs I've taken, it's just where I've been wandering around places, just, because I like to wander.
But it seems to me you do always ask for a wet down when we're shooting
on a
nights.
shoot. No, yeah. Well,
Why?
Not always. Not always. Sometimes it's actually better when it's dry.
Really?
I remember when we met on a film in Dakota, right?
Telling your stories.
It rained at night. There was a thunderstorm. And it was awful because it made the whole landscape darker.
That's true, right?
Which was frightening because all the light I had on it just disappeared because there was nothing for it to reflect off.
Yeah.
Because the soil had gone really dark.
But then
so
again,
I do remember we broke for lunch, and then I stalled as long as I could, waiting for it to dry out.
But then again, if you're lighting for night anyway, or for a gloomy storm, as in that particular photo, isn't it nice to be able to reflect the lights that you've put there in the ground?
I just think it depends. Depends on the story, and I don't always think that. That photograph, I don't think would have been anything without the wind and the rain. We've just been deck chairs on a normal day.
It's because deck chairs you don't expect.
No, it was just that sort of contrast, and it was very English, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's very English.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about this photograph in particular, whether you were using the rule of thirds, which, yes, I really do know that you think that way, with, the car park and the deck chair being on the lower thirds and the dark sky on the top. Do you think that way?
It's all about balance of frame, but sometimes, there's supposedly these rules, aren't there? But that comes from, painting, really. I studied all that stuff, but I don't really think about it when I take a photograph. It's about what you think is balance, and sometimes you don't want it balanced.
Right.
Or you want to put more balance towards the sky or more towards the ground, and you take that into mind,
So do you think studying those rules, that they sometimes, do you think it was helpful to learn those rules because it helped you look at composition, and that maybe some of those rules are working in the back of your head?
I don't know if they are or not. I mean, I think it's interesting to study, anybody's point of view, and those kind of rules, as you say. It's interesting to know. But me, I don't believe in rules. I think it's kind of like the crossing the line in filmmaking. Two people talking to each other, you want to be the same side of the line, but do you always want to?
Mm.
But I think you need to know the rule to realize when you're breaking it and why you're breaking it. I think that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's always nice to know other people's way of working and how they see things. I'm just much more instinctive, and I don't know if it's something in me that I've learned all these things and thrown them away and they're still there. I don't know. I just react to something in front of me and frame it the way it feels right to me at the moment. It's no more than that, really.
I think it's hard to explain to people that, because people who are trying to do something wonderful, they kind of want guidelines and they want rules, and it's hard to explain sometimes. It's just a feeling. And I think you have to let go of the rules to open yourself up to go with your feelings.
I don't think it's hard, like I'm sure painting or photography or filmmaking. I don't think you can totally learn it. You can learn techniques, and you can learn what other people have done and other people's way of seeing in a way. You can study their work, their paintings or their photographs, and see their eye, the way they see the world, but that's not you. So in a way, it's very hard to learn without just doing it yourself.
I think also sometimes one's work is less strong if you're trying to imitate someone, because the strongest stuff comes from what feels right to you, I think.
What's the point in imitating anybody anyway?
Yeah.
I never saw that. It's interesting to see how other people and say other people compose a frame, but I'm not that person, you're not that person, so you wouldn't do it. It doesn't matter whose work I love, the photographers I love, but I can't see the way they see.
But sometimes when you see an unexpected composition or unexpected color balance or something, to me, it's like, wow, I never thought of that. And it opens my mind a little bit. And I think sometimes it affects, it's not that I'm following a rule, but it opens me to that possibility and going, I thought yellow would never work in this, but let me try.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's good sometimes to try different things.
Try different things, but that's also why it's interesting to look at other people's work.
Yeah.
You can't see too much of other people's work because it's always inspiring. But it's revealing, but it's not necessary. It's not, you're not watching it to copy it.
Yeah.
Just to broaden your outlook, really.
And to enjoy it too.
Well, yeah.